The second most common time that people panic sell is during very aggressive up moves. Why is that? Because the corrections within aggressive up moves are very aggressive. So in this episode, I'm going to show you how to not give me your crypto willingly because you're panic selling and I'm buying that fear. Let's dive into the charts for BEPRO, POLK, and PDEX. We are looking at BEPRO on the weekly scale right now. So I have changed the setup of this chart just a little bit. So the box that I have here, I just moved. It was slightly different, but this is set up for the weekly scale. So what we can see here, honestly, this doesn't look too different from what Trias has done. So let's say let's not count that week. 1, 2. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks of consolidation. And now that it is much less sloppy of a consolidation because of this second part. I thought it would have flown up by now, to be honest with you. However, this is going to make the next run more sustainable. This is a long time to be resting under the bottom of this green box, which is denoted by the candle structures here. So once BEPRO closes a week, just even squeaks even this week or next week in this box, it doesn't have to be by much, and honestly it can be right at it as long as it's $1 or even like 10 cents over these candle closures, right around 1.4 cents. So when the week closes and the next week begins on a trading Monday and that previous week closes at 1.4 cents, it's probably going to be blast off time. And so, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, it's going to be good to know when to expect an aggressive pullback that is still within an aggressive move up, because people like me, you're going to be giving me your crypto because I'm going to buy that up. You literally will be willingly clicking to give me your crypto if you are not expecting this. So this is why I want you to stay tuned for all three of these, even if you don't own the other two, because the situations that they're in, particularly POLK, it's soon going to apply to BEPRO because BEPRO is not screaming up like POLK is right now, right? So what I can see happening once on BEPRO specifically, once you get a closure here, just like Trias, it finally closed above, the next 2 weeks should be green. How high will it go? Well, honestly, I think it's going to ignore this. I think it's going to ignore these candle closure. I bet it. If Bitcoin and Ethereum don't do a retest, like a big breakdown before it gets there, I think BEPRO won't hit all-time highs before a pullback, but I think it can hit just around 3.2 cents, something like that, which depending on the day it hits, it will be different because this is an ascending line. But I think it's gonna hit the line that essentially connects the big drop that it had after its normal correction. Then it had to correct with Bitcoin, so it had a double correction. And the line that splits the two corrections that BEPRO had, which made this monumentally awesome buys down here, I think it's going to hit that line and then do a very aggressive pullback because this is a very volatile asset. I can see it coming down 35%, and that's going to be scary as heck for folks who are not anticipating it. So now you see with BEPRO that you have a specific area to start expecting it and the depths to which to expect it. 30% down. I mean, if you see your money go up by thousands of dollars and down by thousands of dollars, you might be inclined to give me your crypto, essentially, right? So I want to show you how to not give me your BEPRO because I will probably be taking it from people who are panic selling. I don't want my viewers to be those people. I can take other people's crypto, and so can my community. All right, everybody, before we get going, flip your phones. Oh, you'll get flipped off. Hit the like button. Here we go. For new people who are landing on my channel, hey, I'm telling you what, you're at the right place. Take this time, because your phone's already vertical, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you can get alerts, because it will help me walk you through a more profitable crypto journey. All right, let's dive back into BEPRO. And so BEPRO has not begun its very aggressive ascent up yet. So there could be one more area that BEPRO hits before a mild correction. So there could be a lift off, a mild correction, a blast off, then still a severe correction of 30+%. That is if Ethereum and Bitcoin decide to give about a 5% pullback to retest their daily 10 or daily 21 EMAs. The other point, if BPRO does not race right up to 3.2 cents, I could see BPRO correcting, hitting some type of, mid-turn top before a 3-day red candle correction or only a 2-day candle correction, but it would be less severe if BPRO has trouble getting either outside the top of this box or just getting into this box in general. That again is denoted where I'm circling these candle closures, 1, 2, 3. That could create resistance. However, I don't anticipate. So listen to what I'm saying. I do not anticipate that it will be resistance for BPRO unless Ethereum and Bitcoin are correcting around the time or before Ethereum or before BPRO is fully above that, right? Or as it's trying to enter, that is when that situation will apply. So if you are expecting that and that happens, you're going to know how to play it because you're going to know that it's a less severe of a dip. So you'll be less inclined to sell me your crypto because you're scared. All right. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the coin that has been flying. This one's going to be super exciting. So, and again, BPRO folks, don't leave because BPRO is about ready to do what Polk's going to do. So you should watch it so you already know you're like a chapter ahead of the rest of the class, right? In terms of Polk. So let's get it. All right, so I just made a video on Polk saying that it might race straight up because it looks just like MTV's chart. It is a lopsided W. Remember that chart? Here, let's go to, even though this is not an MTV analysis, look. And I said, you know what, folks? I think this is going to go straight up. Look. So ignore all of this price action here. So ignore all this. Look, same W. See that? See that W? So Polk's about right here. And I said the chart, look, and now look at Polk, back to Polk. Same W. I don't think it's going to have a red week until it hits $3.18. That's my guess. And I think that even if Bitcoin and Ethereum have a mini pullback, I think within the green weeks that it's going to keep charging up. I think it could have several red days nested within green weeks, but it's going to be hard to give any analysis on this because if it really is going straight up, which I anticipated it had a strong likelihood of doing, it's going to be tough to be buying and selling this, doing 20 bag plays. And for new viewers, if you don't know what 20 bag means, so duplicate this tab or open a new tab in your browser or pause this video and come back to it. But you need to know what 20 bag means because it's going to help make your crypto journey much more profitable, much more profitable. So if you're in that scenario and you don't know what that means and you're a new viewer, go to my library section. It is free content. Click on the it says library 10 bag. So the playlist called library, the video is called 10 bag or 20 bag. Click on that so you can have buy and sell points, buy and sell or profit taking strategies without putting at risk the vast majority of the Polk or the vast majority of the altcoin that you hold or altcoins that you hold. Go ahead and take a look at that. So on Polk, I mean, really, this is the only analysis that I have. I think it's going to race up on a weekly scale to about 320, 318. And from there, it might not even have a big pullback, and it might blast through it and land on it. That's kind of what MTV did. MTV just did this, made another higher high, consolidated. I mean, this could get really aggressive really fast. I'm not going to try to dissect this on the lower time frames because all I'm expecting is green week after green week for a while. The next 2 weeks, but within a week, you can expect a series of 3 red days, right? And I would suspect that those red days would all happen consecutively, maybe with a mixture of red, green, then finish off the rest of the week, something to that effect. 3 to 4 red candles within a week, but made up for with the week's closing green from the green days. So, I mean, I'm going to be more interested to kind of dive into this chart once it gets up past $3 because it looks like that is where it's heading. So now once Polk does this though, in BPRO races, what are they going to do? They're going to consolidate and form a range. So what is Polk in right now? A range. So let's take a look at Polk, everybody. And so once these two assets form a range, we have more familiarity with ranges and how they work. So so what I'm going to cover on PDEX will very soon apply to these two assets. So if you're not a fan of PDEX, it doesn't even matter. Stay tuned. Watch the rest of this because it's going to apply super soon within the next month, probably the month of December or late November for these other assets. All right, so remember, this is the Hulk in cryogenics. It has been sleeping its entire life. So its in life has been in this capsule that is very, very cold. It's only at about 60 million market cap, and it should ride on the excitement of what's happening with both Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems with Moon River, because this is essentially planning on being nested within that ecosystem. So once it finally gets a breakage above this line, I mean, I can see some hesitation at this wick high, maybe for a 3-day candle pullback. More consolidation, allow that, even though I'm not on the daily chart, allow the daily 10 to catch up and do something similar to what Ethereum has done with its previous all-time high. In order to break above, it had to wait for the daily 10 to get to the line and then price pop out. So that could be what happens to PDEX on the daily scale. But I really do see it, coming up to these wick highs, I mean, rather quickly. And it's honestly, because it's a cryogenics Hulk right now, once it's released and he thaws out, it might actually blast past all-time highs and land on it because it's already put in all of its jail time of consolidation. So those are the two most probable ways that I see PDEX behaving. I would still say the most probable, though, is it races right up to this line, consolidates, allows the daily 10, which is the red line. See how there's a red and yellow line? The yellow is the 21 EMA, the red is the 10. Allow the 10 to catch up, kind of right off, get squeezed below. So between the 2 points below this line, but above the daily 10 keeps rising, squeezes it out like a shake and coke, kablam, and off to the races for a blue sky breakout. And then at that point, because it had allowed its daily indicators to catch up, or even during here, a nice wick down to the 21 that it moves up a little bit more slowly. So if I can so imagine this is the yellow line, this is the red line, a wick down, then consolidate back above, then kablam, it could really start screaming, particularly because blue sky breakouts are often very powerful, especially if you consolidate at those previous all-time highs first, allow your indicators, particularly the daily 21, to get within about 8-10% of price with a wick down to touch it and respect it. Say, okay, you're here, I see you, I respect you, I'm going to blast off. That could really heat up Polk having a nice blue sky breakout, and it could happen relatively soon. Perhaps even, it might be on par with when, even though Polk has been hotter faster, this is still closer to its all-time high, right, on a percentage basis. So Polk and PDEX might be having blue sky breakouts almost the same weeks, despite their charts looking totally different due to their relative distance from previous all-time highs, right? Previous all-time highs. They might do blue sky breakouts again at the same time, and that would be super exciting. And with the assumption that BPRO is going to get volatile here, I mean, making these videos might get really, really interesting. New viewers, these two videos right here could drastically change the level of profitability that you have in your crypto journey. I strongly suggest you take a minute to watch them. Everybody, flip your phone or you get flipped off, hit subscribe, hit the bell on your way out so I can help walk you through a more profitable crypto journey. Y'all just got Timified.